A man allegedly drives 265 miles to the isolated home of one of Britain's best-known former politicians. He enters through the front door. 2 minutes later, Ann Widdecombe is lying dead in her kitchen. Her wallet is gone. The alleged attacker begins the long journey home. Days later, the investigation is taken over by Counter Terrorism Police. But when charges are finally announced, there is only one: murder. So what does the evidence actually tell us? And why are police still investigating whether this was more than a robbery? Tonight, we're examining the targeted killing of Ann Widdecombe. What is confirmed, what prosecutors allege, and what remains unknown. Welcome to the podcast, You Can't Unhear. Before we continue, I want to put out some disclaimer first. This case is currently before the courts. Joshua Kerry has been charged with murder, but has not been convicted. The account of the attack presented in this episode comes from the prosecution's opening description during preliminary court hearings. It has not yet been tested through a full trial. Rumours circulating online, including claims based on comparing photographs, the condition of a vehicle, or missing social media accounts, should not be treated as evidence. For now, the responsible approach is to separate three things: what authorities have confirmed, what prosecutors allege, and what remains speculation. Let's start. Ann Widdecombe spent more than 3 decades in British public life. She served as a Conservative MP from 1987 until 2010, held ministerial positions under John Major, and later became Shadow Home Secretary. After leaving the House of Commons, she remained highly visible through television, radio, books, and political commentary. She returned to elected office in 2019 as a Brexit Party member of the European Parliament, and later became a spokesperson for Reform UK. She was outspoken, socially conservative, and rarely afraid of controversy. Whether people admired or strongly disagreed with her, Ann Widdecombe was instantly recognisable. By July 2026, she was 78 years old and living in a rural home near Haytor on the edge of Dartmoor in Devon. The location was quiet, isolated and far removed from Westminster. Authorities believe Ann was attacked on Wednesday, July 8th. She had been expected to participate in a television interview that afternoon. When she failed to appear and members of her team could not reach her, concern grew. The following morning, an employee went to her home. At approximately 11:40, Ann was found unresponsive, with visible injuries. Emergency services were called, but she was already dead. Devon and Cornwall police launched a murder investigation. At first, public information was limited. Police described her death as a brutal and targeted attack, but did not disclose precisely how she had been killed. Given her political profile, questions immediately followed. Was she attacked because of who she was? Was this personal, political, ideological, or was the motive something more ordinary? At that stage, police said they had not established an answer. An early arrest involved another man, who was later released without charge. Then, on July 11th, armed officers arrested Joshua Kerry in Rotherham, South Yorkshire. Rotherham is more than 200 miles from Ann's Devon home. Kerry was initially arrested on suspicion of murder. As detectives gathered more evidence, Counter Terrorism Policing South East assumed leadership of the investigation. Kerry was then arrested under terrorism legislation while remaining in custody. This change created enormous public interest. Some reports described material recovered during searches as potentially political or ideological, but police have not publicly released a complete inventory of what was found, nor explained how every item relates to the alleged killing. Possessing political images, books, or propaganda is not automatically a terrorism offence. The legal question is whether evidence shows preparation, encouragement, possession for terrorist purposes, or another offence defined under terrorism law. That investigation remains open. So why was Kerry eventually charged only with murder? Because an arrest, an investigation, and a criminal charge are three different stages. Police may arrest someone under terrorism powers when they reasonably suspect terrorism-related activity and need additional time or legal authority to investigate. That does not guarantee that prosecutors will later approve a terrorism charge. To charge an offence, the Crown Prosecution Service must conclude that there is sufficient admissible evidence and that prosecution is in the public interest. On July 20th, the CPS authorised one charge: murder. Counter Terrorism Policing specifically stated that investigators were still examining Kerry's motivation, any wider activity, and whether further offences had occurred. They also said that if additional evidence supports more charges, they will return to prosecutors. In other words, the terrorism question did not necessarily disappear. It simply had not produced a separate charge by that date. The following day, Kerry appeared first at Westminster Magistrates' Court and later at the Old Bailey. It was during these hearings that prosecutors publicly described their case in greater detail. According to the prosecution, Kerry travelled approximately 265 miles from his home in Rotherham to Ann Widdecombe's property. They allege that around midday on July 8th, Ann was sitting in her kitchen eating lunch. Kerry allegedly entered through the front door, approached her, and struck her 21 times on the head with a hammer. Prosecutors say he then tipped her from the chair, removed a wallet from her handbag, and drove away. They claim he was inside the home for only about 2 minutes. A pathologist listed blunt force injury to the head as the provisional cause of death. The word provisional is important. At an early inquest hearing, a final medical cause may not yet have been formally certified, even when the apparent mechanism of death seems clear. Toxicology, microscopic examination, and other testing can still be pending. A delayed final determination does not, by itself, indicate uncertainty that the injuries caused the death. It usually means the formal pathology process has not been completed. Prosecutors described the attack as planned, targeted, and exceptionally violent. Those words matter because they offer more than a simple robbery narrative. If the prosecution's timeline is correct, Kerry allegedly travelled hundreds of miles, directly entered Ann's home, attacked her almost immediately, and left after taking only a wallet. That creates an obvious question. Was the wallet the motive, or was it taken afterward to disguise another purpose? At present, there is no official answer. Police have publicly called the attack targeted, but targeted does not automatically mean politically motivated. Counter Terrorism Policing has stated that possible political motivation remains one avenue among many. Investigators were working through more than 800 lines of inquiry after the charge was announced. They also said they were examining whether Kerry had engaged in any wider activity and that they were not seeking anyone else in connection with Ann's death. This is why the most honest description of the motive is simple: unknown. Online discussion has focused heavily on the vehicle allegedly connected to the journey. Police reportedly seized a red Vauxhall Corsa during the investigation. Some social media users have claimed the car appeared abandoned, untaxed, uninsured, or incapable of completing the journey. The disappearance of social media accounts has also generated suspicion, but accounts often become unavailable after a high-profile arrest. Digital evidence is likely to become important in this case, but the public does not yet know what investigators recovered, what belongs to Kerry, or what the defence may challenge. Ann's inquest has been adjourned until after the criminal case. That is standard when a homicide prosecution is underway. A coroner's inquiry and a criminal trial can examine overlapping evidence. Continuing both simultaneously could create prejudice, duplicate witness testimony, or interfere with the prosecution. The delay is not designed to make the public forget. It protects the integrity of the criminal process. Kerry was remanded in custody. A case management hearing was scheduled for October 9th, 2026, with a provisional trial date of June 8th, 2027. A long wait may feel frustrating, especially in a case involving a prominent victim. But complex murder cases require careful testings and preparation. Speed is not necessarily justice. A trial must be fair enough that its outcome can withstand appeal. The delay also places important limits on public commentary. In England and Wales, once someone has been charged, publishing material that creates a substantial risk of serious prejudice can endanger the trial. That means responsible coverage should not declare Kerry guilty, invent motives, or circulate unsupported claims as fact. The public is entitled to scrutinise police decisions. It is reasonable to ask why counter-terrorism officers became involved, why no terrorism charge has yet followed, what evidence supports the alleged journey, and whether the wallet was truly the motive. But scrutiny works best when it begins with verified information, not with conclusions formed before the evidence is heard. At the centre of all this, there was a real victim. Ann Widdecombe was a divisive political figure. She held strong views on immigration, abortion, LGBTQ rights, Brexit, crime, and public morality. Some people respected her consistency. Others strongly opposed her politics. But political disagreement does not diminish the violence of her death. She was 78 years old, eating lunch inside her own home, when prosecutors say she was subjected to a sudden and ferocious attack. Her death has also renewed concern about the safety of current and former public officials in Britain, a country still marked by the murders of MPS Joe Cox and David Amos. Perhaps the most unsettling part of the case is not that the official account has been disproved. It is that the official account is still incomplete. We do not yet know why Ann Widdecombe. And online, space is quickly filled with theories. Some may eventually resemble the truth. Many will not. The task now is not to choose the most dramatic explanation. It is to follow the evidence, challenge it carefully, and allow it to be tested in court. Thanks for joining me tonight. Don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss any updates about this case. Until next time, stay curious, stay safe. And I'll see you on the next episode of the podcast, You Can't Unhear.